Who was John Brown? John Brown was an abolitionist that came to Harper's Ferry with many other men in ships to attack Harper's Ferry. And as you can see here, this was his armory. And he literally started the Civil War. And he tried to free the slaves in Harper's Ferry and arm them, give them weapons, but he failed. Only some of them followed him. Most of them were afraid. And he was hanged for his crimes. He basically, I think personally, he inspired Abraham Lincoln to free slaves. These are some more images of John Brown's fort. Here you can see them attacking his fort more clearly. Obviously successfully. It's a battering ram. And here you can see an original picture of John Brown's fort. And 3 men guarding it. And in 1859, this started the entire Civil War. This is what got the South involved in forming a military. The Battle of Harper's Ferry began on September 12th through September 15th on 1862. And General Miles failed to secure the high ground up here. The Confederates, such as Stonewall Jackson and A.P. Hill, took the high ground, and the other side of the Shenandoah River. Also, they aimed cannons at the city and all around the city, and after some fighting, Miles surrendered, and it was the biggest surrender in American history until World War II.
Remember how many troops? Yeah, 14,000. Good.
14,000. This actually used to be a church named St. John's Episcopal Church during the Civil War. Well, it functioned as a hospital during the Civil War, and as you can see, many pieces of it have fallen apart. This was one of our stops during our scavenger hunt, and it was actually a quite interesting stop. This, as you can see, is a cemetery. It was a Union base, sort of, and as you can see right up here, that was the high ground, and they had cannons firing down. And right here you can see many people have died.
Right, a lot of these guys actually didn't die during the Civil War.
Yeah.
But they died. Well, he died when? Would he have died after or before?
1888.
Mm-hmm.
After.
After the Civil War, right? They both did.
Okay. And that
Excellent. Do
concludes.
you remember the name of the place we stopped right before here on the scavenger hunt?
It was it was.
Wasn't it Jefferson's Rock?
It was Jefferson's Rock.
Right. So that would have been there during the time of the Civil War too.
Yeah. Here you can see all of us marching down through the cornfield. About 11,000 to 8,000 people died here. We're not sure which. And here we are in the East Woods. And the East Woods was near the cornfield, and so the Union troops were actually running up and down the East Woods and attacking there. So that is it for that slide. And of course, this is the Battle of Antietam, which happened after Harper's Ferry. This is the cannon that Johnny Cook fired. He was a bugle boy and the youngest person in the Battle of Antietam. He was 13, so 2 years older than me, and his partner got shot. His partner was firing the cannon, and he took over and firing the cannon and won the Medal of Honor for continuously firing the cannon after everyone else stopped firing and charging. Here you can see Bloody Lane or Sunken Road. The North attacked through this cornfield. And this is a picture from this tower up there that is actually a monument that was not there during the Civil War. And down here you can see some little monuments, and the Irish Brigade got destroyed. They all of them got killed, and
Do you remember why it was so hard for them? Because here, lined up in this trench, who was lined up here on their bellies?
the Confederacy.
Mm-hmm. And so they had perfect coverage, right?
Yeah.
And that's why they destroyed the brigade.
Yeah. And this is actually a monument to the Irish Brigade. Here you can see it is a monument or something like that to the 2nd USA Army Corps of Kimball's Brigade. And down here you can see the General Thomas Francis Meagher, and that was near the tower in the last slide. And here's a little video.
What are you doing in this video?
What so far have you learned about the sunken road?
That people that were part of the market came down and they drove the wagons down a lot, so it got really deep.
Okay.
It's sunken.
Okay. Ethan,
Well,
how about you? What did you learn about the sunken road? Okay.
What have you learned?
So what have you learned about the sunken road?
The sunken road that the Confederate Irish Brigade used it to hide from the Confederate and let the Union people make a way
Okay.
over to the tower.
Okay.
About the sunken road, they don't say it's sunken.
What have you
They
learned?
call it the Sunken Road because.
And in this video, you saw our group walking up to the memorial tower for the Irish Brigade. And here, that was their leader. He died, though. Here, you can see up here, the Confederacy actually used that to defend, and the Union was attacking all up here, and many of them died. This was one of the last phases of the Revolutionary War and
Battle of Antietam.
Battle of Antietam. And watch this video and I will explain how the Union... Here you can see the Burnside Bridge. They attacked from that side. The Confederacy were defending from all the way up here. Some down here as well. And as you can, before it had some other name, and if you look closely enough, you can see the witness tree. There are probably some other trees around here that were there, but it was a young sycamore tree, and that means it'll probably live on for a little bit longer. And
big U.S. military base.
so,
it's named after the Confederate who held the actual bridge down there.
and if you go a little bit
Supreme Court Justice
further, a lot further, you can't see it.
Colonel Henry L. Benning.
There's a ford where you can
There were
cross,
troops at the bottom of the bridge holding it.
and the Union actually used that to surprise attack the Confederacy.
We've been moving south along the battlefield the whole time.
So that's basically it. And once the Union crossed the ford and surprise attacked, the Union could cross over this bridge, and the Commander Burnside did that, and that's how this bridge got its name. So thanks for watching my video. Hope you learned a lot.
Before you leave, what you mentioned in your video, the witness tree, what was that?
Well, the witness tree is sort of, well, that was I mentioned that because actually soldiers did mention that the seeing the witness tree in their letters, the ones that survived, and
So that tree was around during the battle?
yes,
And it's still standing today?
yes,
Wow.
and that's why some people feel very surprised or amazed when they figured that out, and that is my video. Thank you for watching.